Hi, my name is Lisa Peters, and I am a founding leader with Epicure. I'm so excited to share with you tonight some of our new fall 2020, winter 21 comfort food, delicious food, some of the new options that we have in our catalog for you. So Epicure is a 23-year-old Canadian company, and we expanded into the United States a little bit more than a year ago and have pretty much blown the socks off the American market. People absolutely loving everything about us, and then with COVID, where people are eating at home, it's just a perfect storm for needing creative, delicious, healthy, fast meals. So now that fall's upon us, some of the kids are back to school, moms just don't have much time to put a healthy meal on the table. So I hope that you'll take away some ideas for new recipes, variety, and just learning a whole new system of ways that we can really help with mealtime. So Epicure is a very health conscious company, low sodium, low sugar, completely gluten free, everything made in a nut free facility. We have a never ever list that's so long that doesn't have all kinds of things that you're looking not to eat, like MSG, all artificial everythings. It's quite a list, needless to say. So what we're going to make tonight is we're going to make hearty lasagna soup. We'll make our balsamic vinaigrette dressing, and then we'll make a chocolate mud mousse. It's a chocolate mud pie that we're just going to make in a little bit of a different format. So I hope you're excited and I'm ready to go. So we're going to start with our multi-purpose steamer. So this is kind of the start of the show. This is something that will absolutely cut cooking time more than in half. It's microwave safe, it's oven safe up to 425, and your average meal will cook in anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes. So we're going to use it tonight. You can do so many things with it. You can make popcorn in it. You can make fajitas in it. You can throw everything together. You can do vegetables in it. And you don't have to add, most of the time you don't have to add other liquids or extra liquids because it just cooks in the liquids that it has. Tonight's the exception since we're making a soup. We're going to use some beef broth. But normally if you were making fajitas or souvlaki or something Asian, you would just basically put the vegetables, the meat, the seasoning in and completely microwave safe. And again, the nutrients are preserved because the cooking time is fast and hot. It also goes in the oven, as I mentioned. So we use it mostly in the microwave just because of the time savings. So we're going to start with the hearty lasagna soup. So this is the multi-purpose steamer. Comes with the lid. The lid has 3 little vents that lets out the steam. And when you cook with this, you want to make sure that when you set the lid on, that it's away from you and away from the handles. And it doesn't get hot enough to need to have hot pads, except tonight because I'm going to cook with it for quite some time. So I just want to make sure that it's not too hot. It also comes with a tray, and the tray sets right down inside, and it's wonderful for making homemade potato chips without oil. It's fabulous for making crispy bacon, where you just put the lid on it. There's no sputtering, no anything, and all the grease drains down inside, and then you can just pick it up and drain it. So it's honestly just a huge, huge time saver in the kitchen. I don't know what I ever did without it. For tonight, though, we're not going to use the tray. So what I did was I put a pound of ground beef, you could use ground turkey, ground chicken, into the multi-purpose steamer, and I'm going to use our meat separator that you can also use to make guacamole. It looks like a little prop of a boat, is what I always think of. You just mush it up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put 2 bell peppers chopped in here as well. So we're going to microwave that first for about 5 to 6 minutes. We're going to stir it all up and then just double check and see if we need to put it in for a couple more. So I've done some of the cutting already. This is our 4-cup prep bowl. It's a large 4-cup bowl with a nice silicone lid, no cracking, no splitting, really flexible. You can stack things on top of each other. And what I've done is I've just cut up 1 green pepper and 1 red pepper. I actually have the second half of the green pepper to cut up here so that I can show you how easy it is. Number 1, this is our cutting mat. This is our, it's got little feet on it, 4 on each side, front and back. Mine had a close encounter with a wok when I first got it on that side, so I use it mostly on this side. And I'm going to use our chef knife. And again, I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of good knives in my kitchen. This knife is It's ceramic, so it never needs to be sharpened for at least 3 years. And it's got a little guard on it as well, so if you're going to go on picnics, or I'm going to go take my granddaughter somewhere to want to cut up an apple, I don't have to worry if the knife is too sharp. And it's, like I said, a ceramic blade. So we're going to cut up the last half of the pepper. Very sharp. It just kind of glides right through the pepper. There's no pressing down. It's not difficult to use. It's got a really, really nice pattern to it. So I'm just going to slice it up, and then we're going to cut it the other way. And then we're going to just put that inside with the meat and the peppers while they cook in the microwave. We also have something called sheet pans, which we have sheet pans, a large and a quarter size ones, which are like a half size. And we have something called bacon rolls, which are also made out of silicone, look sort of like this, only they're rectangular and they go in the sheet pans. And if you prefer to make your fajitas or your souvlaki or whatever, instead of being in the steamer, in the microwave, or the oven, you can put things on the sheet pan and make some wonderful sheet pan meals. Some of our fall items, like our garlic chicken, can go in that way. So I'm just going to put the rest of the green pepper in here, and then we are going to just take our meat separator again and just mash it up all together, and then we're going to put it in the microwave. And my peppers are pretty hearty size, so I feel like I've got about almost as many peppers in here as I do meat. But it's really nice and colorful, and where there's color, there is also nutrition. So that's what it looks like prior to going in. So I'm going to put it in for about 6 minutes. If I had forgotten to take my meat out of the freezer, I could have put the meat frozen right in there. And I probably would have had to add about 3 extra minutes, but it would have just cooked it all the way from frozen in really next to no time. No hands off, no mess, nothing like that. So that's also one of my favorite things about the steamer. Just in case I don't plan ahead, I've got that as an option as well. Cooks whole chickens. You can take a whole little chicken and put it down in there, and it's cooked in about 20 minutes with some of our amazing seasonings on it. So that's that. So while that's cooking, we're going to make some chocolate mud mousse. And our chocolate mousse is a returning product this fall, back by popular demand. We brought it out earlier this year, and it was an absolute hit. The only thing that I want to tell you about the mousse is it has a little bit of a different texture. It's more like a flan. So it's going to be like I don't want to say it's like a flan texture. So it's kind of like a creme brulee is another way that you could look at it. But the way that I'm going to make it tonight, it's not going to be like that. So we're actually going to do a dairy-free version of this. I'm using dairy-free cream cheese, 8 ounces of it, and I'm going to put that in a bowl. And I'm going to use, we usually use True Whip in our house, which is a little bit healthier version of Cool Whip. It doesn't have any GMOs, and a few extra things are left out of it that's our normal Cool Whip. But since we have since we're doing this dairy-free, we're going to just use our Kite Hill dairy-free cream cheese and our Cocoa Whip, which is coconut milk Cool Whip, which is just like Cool, but it has just a little slight taste of coconut, not much. And again, with chocolate, how could that be anything but amazing? So anyway, I also have the world's oldest mixer. So I got this mixer when I got married, and we just celebrated 36 years of marriage. So this thing just does not die. I'm waiting for it. It just hasn't happened yet. So I'm gonna, let's see, I got just about this much. I'm just gonna whip up the cream cheese here for just a second. It already has a nice soft texture, so it works really well. This is our chocolate mud pie, and it can be made, as I mentioned, as a pie. I'm just going to use our new fall scissors. So these are really hardy. They're not heavy, but they're really sturdy, and they don't come apart. So I do have really good scissors that do come apart, and I sometimes find that they fall apart. So these are not going anywhere. They're nice and hardy. So we're just going to take the mousse mix, and we're gonna sprinkle it inside. And before I start whipping it up, I'm just gonna stir it just a little bit, just so I don't end up in a brown cloud, which I did once when we first got this. So I was like, okay, I think I better just make sure I stir it in first with this is one of our small spatulas, and this is just such a nice little stirring utensil. It just kind of, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's a little bit curved, and it works really well as a spatula. So I'm gonna just whip this up for a second. Pretending this is chocolate frosting. It looks just like it. So I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna fold in. I don't know if I'm even gonna need this whole thing. I don't think I'm gonna use the whole thing. I think I'm gonna use about half of it. And normally when you use whipped topping, you don't necessarily whip it with a blender, with a beater. So let me just see. I'm gonna just get it started here, and I'll probably blend it just for a minute with the mixer, but I just want to kind of see, because many times when I make mousse, which I do often, especially in the summer when the berries are fresh, I just make this this mousse, and then we layer berries, Cool Whip. Sometimes I've made our banana bread and used that kind of to layer in there as well, and then kind of topped it off with some Cool Whip on the top. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just a really nice mousse texture. It's just really nice. So I think what I'm gonna do, sometimes I chill the whole bowl and get it out later, but I think instead I'm gonna put these into little cups, and these are our small prep bowls, and they're about a cup, and I'm gonna just put probably just about maybe a half a cup. I'll show you. I'm just going to do a couple so I can sprinkle on my favorite topping on the top of it. I could even put a little dollop of whipped cream on top, but since we're just going to eat this and I'm not making it for a party, I won't do both of the other ones. But this is one of our very favorite toppings. It's called Cocoa Crunch. It's just delicious. We put it in our chocolate pudding, we put it on our chocolate mousse, we put it on our fruits sometimes. It's just got very little sugar. It has 1 gram of sugar in a tablespoon, yet it has just, you can maybe see, it's just got just a little bit of like small chocolate chip kind of looks to it there. So if I wanted to really make this fancy, I could have put, some whipped cream and then put this on top so it had some texture, but knowing that we're going to be eating it, yum. So there's that, and there's about enough for 2 more little cups if I were to use it all. So I heard my microwave, so let's take a look and see how all that looks. I made a pretty good mess here with my beaters. I did also want to make the point about the chocolate mud pie that for 1/8 of the pie, it has, in the mix, it has only 8 grams of sugar. So for a dessert that only has 8 grams of sugar and 1/8, what you would normally mix it with would be cream cheese and a little bit of the Cool Whip. So that would have just a few more grams, but still pretty darn good for a dessert. So just wanted to throw that out there. So let's get the lasagna out. I smell these peppers. They smell so good. So I'm gonna just mash this up a little bit more. I wasn't kidding you guys. I really have a lot of peppers in here. I think I'm gonna have to put this in for a couple more minutes because it absolutely looks like I have as much peppers as I do meat. But it's it's almost done. It's gonna probably need maybe like 2 more minutes. Just gonna mash up the pieces of the meat so it's a little bit smaller. Smells so good. The smell of the peppers is so awesome. And just wait till I show you how easy it is to drain this too. So it's just about done. Just throw it in for another couple minutes and we'll be good to go. It's not hot at all right now, but it likely will be when I put the broth in. Okay, so while that's finishing up, I'm going to make some balsamic vinaigrette dressing. So I am totally guilty of having like at least 8 or 10 bottles of half-used dressing in the door of my refrigerator always before Epicure. So I am so happy to be able to make my own fresh dressing and not have it sitting around forever. We basically make what we need. So our cruet is going to be available soon. By the time you watch this video, it's likely already going to be back. It's graduated, which should kind of let you do measurements. And as you noticed, I really didn't use very many different utensils and bowls and things. The goal is to keep things pretty simple. So I am going to use our balsamic vinaigrette dressing, which is one of our family's favorites. And because everything is very sodium and sugar conscious, just know that we're likely going to have to add a little bit of salt. But the nice thing about it is if you can't use salt, there's no salt to take out. So in this particular dressing, for example, for a half a teaspoon, there's 130 milligrams. And that's really low compared to store-bought dressings. It's much, much more. So the one thing I forgot to grab was our little funnel. We have a nice little silicone funnel that goes in here. So we're going to just see how good I am at doing this without the funnel. I always use it. It's out in the other room. So this is going to combine. I'm going to make about a half of a container here. So I'm going to use 2 tablespoons, 1/8 of a cup of balsamic vinegar. Just going to measure that right here. I'm going to use about a little over a third of a cup of olive oil. And again, I can use olive oil in this dressing because we're going to be using it right away. If we weren't going to be using it right away, olive oil starts to congeal when it's in the refrigerator. So that might be a better use for grapeseed oil or for some other oil like that, because then it won't turn into that semi-solid in the fridge. If you do use olive oil because you really like it, that's great. Just take it out maybe 15 minutes before you're going to use it and you're good to go. So I'm going to use 1 tablespoon. This is our 4-in-1 measuring spoon. Tablespoon, teaspoon, half teaspoon, 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just going to put it in here, and you know what? I just do not know if I'm going to be able to do this without getting it all over the place. Let me think. Just a second. I'm going to grin and grab it. It's right behind me. Here we go, just what I needed. We're going to take 1 tablespoon of dressing, and our 4-in-1 spoon is really nice because it fits right inside of all of our bottles. So you don't have to find another spoon. It sticks right in the cover. So we're just going to put the lid on, and we're just going to shake it up. The vinegar and all the spices just smell so delicious. So there you've got your balsamic vinaigrette dressing. What I'm likely going to do is I'm going to just put the funnel back in. I'm going to grab some of our herbed garlic sea salt. This is a salt that my family loves. It's got a wonderful like garlic flavor to it. And I'm just going to put a few, I just put it like right into the funnel and just turn it a few times. And I just get just a little bit of that, little bit more of a garlicky taste and just a little bit more salt. So we'll just reshake it. Good to go. That smells so good. So there's our balsamic vinaigrette dressing. So I heard the microwave again, so let me go grab it. Still definitely not hot to the touch. So I'm gonna just rinse the meat separator a little bit. Okay, that looks perfect. So that's what it looks like, all nice and done. And what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna use one of the little prep bowls to drain this into. So the other really nice thing, no more trying to drain things and having it fall all over the place. We're just gonna pick this up like this, drain it right into our bowl. No fuss, no mess, no spattering. Just squeeze the two sides together and it drains right away. So it's super easy. So we got that much out of that. So let's see. So the next thing is to, just a minute, we have these really awesome menus. This is my first time making this that our leaders all put together. And we're gonna just do the rest of this. We're gonna put the main seasoning in, the Speedy Lasagna packet. Again, you can make this as a lasagna. You can make it as the soup that I'm making for you. Super hearty, really yummy. I hear in Michigan this week it's gonna be 80 degrees in a couple days. So it's like, what? But again, all this has in it is onion, garlic, herbs, red pepper, and spices. It has 0 sodium as the package goes, and all that you are going to do is the things that you add to it. So that's pretty awesome as well. So what we're going to add to it is we're going to add a 28-ounce can of petite diced tomatoes with the juice. We're going to take 4 oven-ready lasagna noodles. So these are what we use in our Epicure lasagnas in the steamer. You can make complete lasagna in the steamer. And I'm just going to break this up into little pieces. I'm just going to put that in there. It doesn't need to be cooked. Could have broken this up ahead of time. Snap, crackle, pop. It sounds like my joints in the morning. I had a big birthday this year, so my joints are a little more snap, crackle, and poppy than they used to be. And we're just going to stick those in there. And then on the stove, I have our multi-purpose pot. This is our multi-purpose pot, the 8-cup one. And what I did is got this really nice lid. This has been all boiling, but the lid is not hot because it's got some silicone here on the handle. It has, I don't know if you can see this, but they have little holes, bigger holes, smaller holes, so that you can drain things like pasta. You can cook pasta in here. And this is 4 cups of beef broth. I used beef broth that Epicure had from a previous season, and I made it into broth. So I have 4 cups of it, so I'm just going to make sure that I get the right measurement. Use my little prep bowl again. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we're going to put that right in. The beef broth looks like this, and we have a nourish broth, which has got some chicken in it, and hopefully our miso will be back in stock soon, and then we'll be able to have a miso broth as well. So what I'm going to do with the steamer is I'm going to put it on a plate. I just want to make sure that I give it a little bit of extra support as I'm putting it into the microwave. So I'm going to put it on the plate. Whoops. I'm going to stir it up just a shade with the peppers. The seasoning smells amazing. The lasagna noodles, the beef, and all these flavors. I'm going to grab some. I think my spinach is also in my downstairs fridge. Yikes. What I usually do is I just put spinach in here as well at the end, and I top it with mozzarella cheese. So I just will take the scissors and I'll literally just cut up the spinach with it in there, microwave it for the last little while, and then finish it with Parmesan cheese. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this back and you microwave it for 12 to 15 minutes. So since I'm not going to keep you guys on the video, the live for 12 to 15 minutes, what I'll do is I'll post pictures of the finished meal afterward as well. So I just want to say that there are 3 ways that you can benefit with your family from Epicure. Number 1, you can benefit as a customer. If you see things that you like tonight that you think, oh my gosh, I could so see myself using this at home with my own family, that would be amazing. So get back with the person that brought you to this cooking class and they will be happy to hook you up. If I had to give my best advice about the best ways to get started with Epicure, it would without a doubt be the MultiPurpose Steamer. And then we have something called a 3 weeks of easy dinner collection. And I just happen to have them all right here. So beef stroganoff, mac and cheese, taco, buffalo wings, our new African sweet potato stew, butter chicken, chucha chili, pulled pork, sloppy joes, Alfredo, gyros or donair, whether you're in Canada or the US, tandoori chicken curry, pulled chicken, Thai stir fry, sweet and sour chicken. Most of the time when you order meals, they come in 3 packs, but with the 3 weeks of easy dinners, they all come 1 pack and all different ones. So it gives you such a nice variety, and then almost all of them can be cooked in the steamer. So if you're, like I said, looking to be a great customer, that is a fantastic way to get started. We also have meal kits, a Mexican, an Asian, and a Greek, that all the meals makes 30 meals basically, and it's so reasonable. It's 20 servings, about $30–$35 depending on the kit. So you get everything in the Mexican kit to make fajitas, nacho cheese sauce, guacamole, and salsa. It comes with laminated recipe cards, and it's just going to make meals for your family depending on whatever size your family has. So those are also great. The second way that you can be in touch with Epicure is by hosting a cooking class. Whether it's a virtual class like this, where you're watching, bringing friends along, sharing this awesome concept with other people that you know, or whether it's a live cooking class. Some of us are able to start doing live classes now where you can get together with friends and family, maybe people that you have been in touch with anyway during this challenging time. And it's just an amazing, fun time. And again, instead of my family eating what I cook, you guys get to taste it instead. The last way that you can be in touch with us is by joining our Epicure family. So honest to goodness, guys, we need all hands on deck. Our business kit is $99 plus shipping and tax. It's an amazing value and a way for you basically to earn your money back within your first couple cooking classes. You can do your business virtually like I'm doing this and really never leave your home and make dinner for your family, or you can go out and do live classes with people in your area or whatever. So there's so many options, but it's just our pleasure to help you simplify mealtime, enjoy healthy food for your family, especially those of you with special needs, gluten-free, dairy-free, celiacs, irritable bowel, you name it. In my real life, I'm a registered nurse, so there's an awful lot of things that healthy food can help. So I thank you for joining me. Hope you have a great night.